All right. Okay, so 1-4 is properties of parallelograms. Okay, so these are the pieces that we're going to talk about. So the feeling confident. Okay, so let's talk about a parallelogram. Can somebody raise their hand and tell me what is a parallelogram? Go ahead. It is a closed figure with how many sides, particularly? 4 sides. And there are 2 sides that are parallel. Okay, so here is the definition. You guys see this? A parallelogram is a quadrilateral that has 2 pairs of parallel sides. 2 pairs of parallel sides. And we're going to even make more statements. Okay, so you guys have used GeoGebra in the past? Is that a software everybody knows about? GeoGebra. Have you used that? Oh, okay. So what we could do is we could go through, we could open up GeoGebra and we could play with GeoGebra to make some statements about parallelograms, or I could just kind of go and do the quick and dirty version and show you what you should find. What's GeoGebra? This is a picture of GeoGebra. Huh?
Just like scroll down.
Well, I thought you guys were done writing.
No. Table. Sorry. Hold up. Yeah, I'm done.
Are we good? Okay, well, that was just the definition of a parallelogram. Okay, moving on. All right, so this is going to go through and kind of take screenshots of somebody using GeoGebra to create a parallelogram. Okay, so the idea is that you start with a straight line. Right, Joe? Okay, start with a straight line. Okay, and then you basically plot a point, and then you make a second line that's parallel. Okay, that looks pretty good, right? So 2 parallel lines you start with.
2 parallel lines.
Okay,
make sure they're parallel.
And then eventually you're going to just draw another line that goes through there like a transversal line. And then you're going to copy and you're going to make a line that's parallel to that one. Okay, so these 2 lines are parallel, B, C, and AD. And then AB and BC are parallel. Okay, so the next thing they did is they did some investigative work and found some measurements. Okay, so they measured the lengths of the sides, and they measured the angles. I want you to make an observation about those measurements. They are all the same.
Hold up.
Let's look a little closer.
So before we go, okay, if you only have 1 set of parallel lines?
1 set? That would be a trapezoid. Good question. We will investigate those next.
I'm sure we will.
We surely will. All right, who has a statement to make about what you observe about these numbers? Fallon, what do you think? Fallon looked at these lengths and noticed that the sides that are opposite of each other are the same. I'd write that down in my notes.
What?
Opposite lengths are congruent.
And angles.
Oh, wait, that was a separate statement.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your second statement, Fallon?
Opposite angles.
And opposite angles are
Congruent.
congruent. Fair enough. Okay, so opposite sides are congruent and opposite angles are congruent.
I want pizza.
Okay, everybody wrote that down? Okay, so we just came up with 2 conjectures, okay, that we could in fact prove. And I'm going to go right to the part where we make a theorem out of those. Okay, so it is a fact. It is a fact that opposite sides are congruent, and it is a fact that opposite angles are congruent, and it is a fact that diagonals bisect each other.
Wait, by
Okay, now wait a second. What the heck does that mean?
turning cut in half.
Let me draw a parallelogram. Okay, so here, let me erase this and start from scratch so I don't confuse you. Okay, so I'm going to draw a parallelogram. We're going to call my parallelogram A, B, C, D. Okay, so we're talking about diagonals. So what do you think the diagonals are?
The B to D.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, now what does bisect mean? What does that mean?
I feel like
It cuts them in half, right?
Is that the actual term? It's bisect.
Bisect, to cut in half.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so let's say this point where the two intersect, the two diagonals intersect, let's label that E. So give me a statement
Hold up.
about lengths. What? So can you say that from B to D,
Is the same as
right? Okay, so from B to E, that is the same length as E to D. Okay, and also from A to E, that's the same as
E to C.
E to C. Okay, so do you understand the statement now? The diagonals bisect each other.
Yeah.
That makes
Wait,
sense?
the diagonal. Okay.
See my picture?
No.
It's very good. You have to look up.
I see it. Wait.
No, still not yet? Ready to move on? Okay, so let's do an example of this scenario. Okay, so let's say they give us this beautiful parallelogram. Okay, so they tell us that yes is in fact a parallelogram, and they ask us to figure out what the y and the x values are.
They're equal to.
Okay, so help me set this up. How would you figure out how the y and the x would be equal to each other?
I don't know. You could do the.
What equal to
AD
each
is
other?
equal to BC.
Okay, what?
So that equation equal to equal. So that could be like you taking 6y plus 5 equals.
That measuring the angles into the distance between points.
Okay, so this 6y plus 5, this is the measure of this B angle,
Oh, the angle.
and this 8y minus 17 is the measure of angle D. Okay, so we would set what equal to each other?
That 5y. No, 6.
6y plus 5 and
6y plus 5 was 8y minus.
All right. Okay, so you see, we're just going to set these opposite angles equal to each other. Okay, so we would say 6y plus 5 is equal to 8y minus 17, and that is an equation that we can solve.
Will you also combine like curves? Let's say, so here it's 60.
No, because you don't know these two. If you knew these, then you could set it equal to 360, but you don't know what these two are equal to.
Okay.
All four angles would have to equal 360. Okay, so how do I solve this equation? What do you do? Okay, I heard different things, and yes, they are both right. I heard add 17 first. Okay, so if I have 6y, what's 5 plus 17?
22.
Okay, plus 22. Okay, then what?
So plus 6y.
Minus the 6y. Good. So 22 is equal to how many y's? 2 y's. Divide by 2. And you get 11. Good. Oops. Okay. Now, how would I come up with the x value?
You replace the y.
Oh, you're answering the question of what is the angle?
5x plus
So you're
9
going
equals
further than I
7x.
asked you to. You're okay. What?
Are you there yet?
I don't know. What'd you say?
5x plus 9 equals 5x
Okay.
plus 9 equals 2x.
There you go. Good. So we're setting the opposite sides equal to each other. So 5x plus 19 is equal to 7x.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Setting the sides equal to each other, so opposite sides are equal.
Oh, okay. I see. I didn't see the 7.
I thought it was
Wait,
2x.
what are you doing? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so how would I solve that equation? subtract 5x.
What?
So 9, right. Yep. So what's 7x minus 5x? 2x, then what? Divided by 2. What's 19 divided by 2? 8?
I'm guessing.
What? 9.5. You know what's funny is everybody in the last class said exactly the same thing as 8. And I was like, what? 8? This feels like an 8, I guess.
We're just gonna go for whatever.
Okay. You say so. Okay, there you go. All right, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to sit down. Well, I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to let you do this. Okay, so I want you on your sheet of paper, and I would put this in your notes because I think that's smart to have. Okay, draw this picture and find QR and PR. Now notice what they're asking you to find. Okay, show your work, and then I'm going to have somebody come up and do this.
Hold up. Just go to the bathroom.
Okay. In roughly 10 minutes, we're almost done. Okay, let's go. Write these down. Everybody should be writing. Write it down. Let's figure it out.
Who is that? I'm thinking it starts tonight.
Is what?
The voice. Does it start tonight?
Why
I'm like
watch
super
it live,
excited.
sir?
Because The Bachelor in Paradise is over, and I'm like trying to
Is it Monday nights or I thought they were Tuesday?
No, it's Monday. Monday and Tuesday. Actually, maybe we just did seriously the
Roughly. Okay, but what are you asked to find? You found the X and Y. Now you need to find Q to R, QR, and PR. Okay, when you're finished, raise your hand. I want to come and have somebody do this one for us.
Wait, now really? Wait. Holy moly.
Will you rate yours for number 8?
Ah!
So go ahead and have you write in green.
Fancy. Interesting. Like,
You are? Witchcraft.
So wait, why is it necessary for us to know x plus 9 and 4x minus
is this it? This is what I do?
Did you write it?
Yeah, I was writing on the board. Go back to you or no?
Fucking talking.
Remember, like, that girl named Gren? You remember Mr. Grom's classic iPad? So, Alan Clay my class together
Alright,
in Grimace.
so let's
She dropped
take a
6
quick look
fucking
at what
iPads.
Logan did. Okay, so Logan did both of these questions,
Logan?
and
Peace.
let's see if we can follow his work. Okay, so immediately
It's pretty
to find
messy.
QR, that's this link right here, he took 3z minus 4 and set it equal to 2z plus 4. Logan, why did you do that?
Because that's what we did last.
That's what we did last time. Can somebody help give me a better
Don't
reason
know.
besides that's just what we're supposed to do?
Well, the sides are, those two sides are equal, so then it's something.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
So because we have a parallelogram, we know that the opposite sides are congruent. Okay, so that's why we do that. So Logan solved that equation and got that the z value is
8.
8. Did anybody else find a z value of 8?
Yeah, I did, but.
Okay, so what is
Okay. So once you find the z value of 8, what do you have to do to find QR?
Plug it in.
Plug it in. Okay, so that's his work right here. He took this length, plugged in 8, and found that 24 minus 4 is equal to 20. And that's the length of QR.
21.
20.
22-0.
Okay, so then, for finding PR, so that's this total length, right? All the way across this diagonal. Logan started by setting x plus 9 equals 4x minus 2. Why did you do that, Logan?
Because they're congruent.
Why are they congruent?
They're the same.
Because they're the same, because they are
Opposite sides of the parallelogram.
Oh, yeah. Diagonals are.
bisectors.
Wait, no.
Okay, so since they're diagonal bisectors,
Oh,
So I mean, it's 28.
parallelogram.
Yeah.
Okay, and so Logan said the x value is 5. Anybody agree with Logan?
I'm not quite there yet.
Does anybody disagree with Logan? You disagree?
I disagree on my own final answer. I think it's 28.
Okay,
Wait.
so once we have 5, what do we do to find PR?
Wouldn't it be 28?
Okay, so Logan took the 5 and put it into 4x minus 6 and found that. What did you find, Logan?
Shouldn't it be 28?
Yeah, do you guys see this? Okay, so Logan found that the length from T to R is 14. Right? So that means the length from P to R is not 14, but rather
Whoa.
twice that. It's
Drop the mic. So, I'm stuck at. Oh, I'm at x before.
Can you get this away from me, please?
Sides of the same. Right?
I have a hard time following.
No, they have the same number
I
of
mean, don't get
letters
me
and
wrong.
syllables.
Looking at some of this, it would really make me question. But,
Do you have spirit?
Hey, does anybody else have questions on this material that you've learned for the very first time today?
no.
Okay. Thank you, Logan. And I have a worksheet for you.
For just Logan or for everyone?